Welcome, students, as we prepare for another episode of DC Graduates. I'm one of your teachers, your doctor recommended docent nerdiness, aka your nerd today, Carlos Rodriguez. And as always, we are joined by Sly, my teacher in crime. Sly, how are you today?
I'm doing great. I did forget that last time we recorded, I realized my microphone didn't work, and I probably should have done something about that between then and now. I didn't, but that's fine. So, I'm just in SD standard definition on my mic today. That's
That
fine. But I'm so excited to talk to you about a hit 2020 film, Superman. Yad Son? That's
yeah,
how it's written on the poster. And
true.
boy, do I have feelings.
Yeah, this is a weird choice. So we'll start with host history. This is the second time I've seen it, and then as I was watching, I was like, "Oh, I remember why this is." I've never rewatched this. Um,
Have you read it?
I have. Yeah, I read it in my
Okay.
teenage years. Yeah.
I have not read it. So again, all my opinions will be based solely on this. I want to reiterate 2020 film.
Yes.
Think about what was going on in 2020,
Yeah.
the state of the world, the state of I feel like there was a lot of drama about animation happening right around that time too. Things were going on.
Mhm. Yeah.
Interesting year to say
This
the
is
least.
this was not the vibe. And I
This
think,
was not the
yeah,
vibe.
I think teenage Carlos. I remember. I don't remember a lot about the book other than the exact premise that that's covered in this. But for the
Mhm.
book, because it has been 20 years since I read it, I think teenage Carlos liked it a
Fair.
lot because teenage Carlos loves Mark Millar. Like teenage Carlos is obsessed with Mark Millar. Like loves the idea of the movie on it, and then read on it, and was
Mhm.
like, this is a little too much. There's a lot of essay in here for I don't
Uh-huh.
understand what the point is here. I get they're villains, but too much. Loved
Mhm.
Kick Ass as an early adult, and it was like, again, there's a lot of essay here. It's really weird, really weird. Love the Ultimates.
Mhm.
When the Ultimate line launched originally back in the day, I was like, man, this is it's pretty dark. Rereading it later, it's pretty dark. This is pretty dark. I don't know why Hulk's trying to eat Freddie Prinze Jr. and Nick Fury though looks like Sam Jackson. That's pretty cool. I hope that pays off one day. um,
It
uh,
certainly
yeah,
will.
and then I read this and I was like, I think I liked it more as a teenager, and as I came to adulthood and watched this film for the first time, I was like, no, no, I
Mhm.
get it's an
Mhm.
Elseworld story, so that's the saving grace of this.
Right.
It's not canon at all, which is nice.
Yes,
Is this your first time watching the
great
movie?
team behind this. Oh, yeah,
Okay.
definitely. I was not watching
Yeah.
Superman Red Son in
Yeah.
2020.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I don't blame you. It's a rough movie to come out in a rough year.
Yeah.
You know? It
Mhm.
is. But yeah, we have a great team behind this. We have returning director Sam Liu. He's on that generational run at this point too, if you think
Yeah.
about it. We have
Uh-huh.
JM Demetis writing, same thing, just on like a legendary run right there. Studio is always WB Animation.
A friend of a
Stars.
friend.
Yeah, what?
Oh, we have a friend that interviewed, Jam DeMatteis very
Oh yes.
recently.
That's right. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Our close personal friend.
We are yeah, we're 2 degrees separated for JM Demetas.
Yeah.
I like to play that game. I'm by the way, I think I'm 5 degrees of separation away from Jets and Ackles. Four
There you
degrees
go.
away from Corey Taylor, Slipknot. So
Okay.
yeah. That's the way you see the lines being drawn. But yeah, the studio is always WB Animation. This one stars Jason Isaacs, Amy Acker, Diedrich Bader, Vanessa Marshall, Phil Morris, Paul Williams, Roger Craig-Smith, Winter Abe Zoli, and Travis Willingham. Uh, when we watched this, it was streaming on HBO Max. It's no longer.
When you watched this,
Yeah, it's
it
true.
was streaming on
Yeah,
HBO. When I
but
went to watch it, it was no longer on HBO
hmm
Max,
hmm
and it is not on YouTube. Don't believe the lies. I believed the lies, and it was the, like, animated comic version of the movie,
Oh,
but with
that's
the
the
movie
worst.
poster. And I was so confused. I was like, what are these voices? What is this art style? What is going on?
They
And then I
do
read
that
the
all the
comment.
time. They do that all there's like a whole list of like motion comics for a little bit. I can tell you right
Mhm.
now, looking on IMDb, you can only rent it and save it.
I did
Save
it.
your money. Hey, save your money.
I didn't rent it.
We'll
That's
get into it,
fine.
but save your money. Uh Sly, as we were about
Uh-huh.
to tear this movie apart, probably. Hit us with that plot recap.
What if baby Kal-El's rocket landed not in Kansas, but in the Soviet Union?
Whoa.
That is the premise of this Elseworlds tale from DC Comics. I'm like, listen, we'll probably get into it, but I want to get into it here. We're
Yeah.
talking about it. This premise wise could be a great story.
Yeah.
The problem is, have the people who have written this ever stepped foot in Russia? Probably not.
No,
I haven't.
I don't
But
think Mark
also,
Millar has.
this is the entire like plot and structure of this film like could have been really cool like thought experiment, but it's like so based on like traditional American preconceived notions of what it is to exist in Soviet era Russia, and it's so not.
Yeah.
Like nothing about this movie fits with
This
what
is
it would be like to exist or like the ideals that you would have inherited from existing in a Soviet era Russia, and it just doesn't work for me.
no, and you know what's funny? There's a movie coming down the pipeline in season 5, and it's obviously based off one of these Elseworld titles, Justice League New Frontier, and that
Uh,
not necessarily switches anything on its head, other than it being taking place in this McCarthy era, this Soviet era, this Cold War era of the world at that point to kind of like fixate the story in like a certain time and space,
mhm,
and it lends itself really well to like the plot and everything that's going on around it, and it really adapts to what's going on in Russia and everything like that fear that's going around the world. It really adapts it really
mhm,
well. They had a chance to kind of mimic that in this and kind of show you a little bit like what's going on in the world. We do see like cause and effects for certain things, like the fact again, just one ripple effect of Superman um being here, being in Russia, like
mhm,
what does that do to the ripple effects of the world, right? What does it do
yeah.
to a starving boy who loses his two parents in front of him, you know?
Comrade or
Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
Bruce.
I will say though, the best thing that this story has given is the
Mhm.
costumes. Every one of the costumes for this
Mhm,
Elseworld title
correct.
are iconic,
They
whether it
looked
be the Green
great.
Lanterns, whether it be Superman himself in like his very
Diana looked great too. I
Diana looks
loved
great.
hers. Yeah.
Comrade Batman looks great. It's This is a story though that is stuck in the aughts, in the mid to late
Mhm,
aughts. This is something that, works really well in that era where we're not really we are media literate, don't get us wrong. Of course, we
mhm,
talked about this, with Watchmen a few weeks back.
mhm,
That came out in the 80s, and now everyone was picking that apart, like, oh my god, it's so layered and all this stuff. I'm not saying
mhm,
that, the comic medium just stalled. But in the aughts, like there was a lot of weird shit going on. You could write a lot of weird shit. And this is one of those ones that I think it felt fun at the time, but like I don't know,
mhm,
movie wise, do you need to put the manpower to adapt this story with people clamoring? I felt like I was
mhm.
excited when it got announced years before. And then by the time it came, I was like, I don't want this. Like I really don't. And I
Yeah, like,
watched it.
who is this for? Is the
Yeah.
real question.
Yeah, and then the other funny thing too is like right before we got on, to record, I was talking to my nephew.
Mhm.
We watched the movie over the weekend, so we were just nerding out about that. And he's like, "Oh," I was like, "Yo, I gotta go. I gotta get ready to film." He's like, "Oh, what are you filming?" And I told him. He's like, "Oof." I was like, "That's always a sign."
Oof.
Yeah, if
Oof
he goes,
indeed.
"Oof," I was like, "Yeah, I know, man. I know. I'm not really excited about this." And this is the one that I think this is a uniting movie for both the left and the right. I think this is a movie that both sides can
Mhm.
hate. This will unify a country. This
Equal
movie.
opportunity hatred.
And the
Hell
weird thing
yeah.
though is that technically speaking, from like an
Mhm,
animation standpoint, from how the story is adapted, like some of the stuff that it keeps from the story that I remember, and like toning down the Mark Millar of it all. Um, Sam Liu and J.M. Demetas do an incredible job. Legitimately. Like, I'm not
Mhm.
saying like this is
Yeah.
not on them. It's just the source material. Like, do we
Mhm.
really want a Russia Superman? Like, again, it's cool.
Again,
A
if
short would
we
have been
had
cool.
engaged yeah, I would have dug it short. If we had engaged in any ounce of, like, reflection on what it meant
Yeah.
to be on the other side of a superpower Russia, that I think could have worked for what they were trying to do, but because we tried to focus it so much on Superman's perspective and, like, what ideals he would have gained through his
Mhm.
experience growing up in that environment, we lost out on what would have been the interesting commentary. Because what we got was lackluster, like, fucking, stereotypes.
Yeah.
And that didn't like there was nothing to engage with there. It was just like, "Here's some slop, enjoy it." And
Yeah.
I went,
Yeah.
"Mm."
And I would say this version is a better version than the comic. I will say that. And I have
Mm.
no qualms about saying that. I think it's
Yeah, I mean, I'm talking a lot of shit, but I wanna say, besides the structure and the premise, like, the writing I thought was really solid. The art was beautiful,
you know,
for what we got. Again, 2020 was a rough year.
yeah.
I thought I really worked with what they had. And like again, this is a solid movie. I just am vehemently against the premise of this
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it
movie.
definitely feels like what can we do anything with these Ellsworth titles? So let's do it. There's interesting concepts here. And slide, by the way, we started filming. The background's the same from Watchmen. Just throwing that one out there. I totally forgot. We're gonna keep filming. I will fix it
That's
for
fine.
video people
Uh-huh.
as we're
Yeah.
watching.
Uh-huh.
But which is hilarious. But yeah, I think there's like cool things like what so when like we're gonna talk spoilers throughout the whole thing, just because it's not something we're like we want you to go see, you know. If you do really want to
Mhm.
see it, read the book, check it out, see, make your own opinions. You know, free libraries out there. We always say that.
Mhm.
I think Superman realizing early that, hey man, working for the government is not the thing. Taking out Stalin is like, oh, that's cool. And then he's like, well, I'm in charge now. I was like,
Becoming the
oh,
government.
no, that's not good. Lex, taking over the US government forcefully, which is like a constant always, right? Like it's just a universal constant. It doesn't matter what universe it's whether for good or bad, it just happens. um, there's like little things like that that kind of work. But it's just overall it's just like a bleak story that doesn't really need to be told. I think it should have stayed in an elsewhere time. Like it doesn't really have anything to say, and that's not necessarily the worst thing, right? Because Tom Taylor has an Elseworld title that was I think it was a couple years ago. There may be a sequel series coming down the pipeline. But it's like, again, what if Superman lands in like medieval times, like Camelot era times? What would that be like? And what does that do for the world? And it's really interesting. And it doesn't necessarily need to say anything amazing. It just does a
Mhm.
really good job of telling the Elsewhere story and like, okay, so the House of L is like all three people survive, by the way, Jor-El, Lara,
Mm.
and Kal-El. Kal-El's born on Earth. Like that happens, like they become kings, and like people don't like them because they're kings and they're like otherworldly. It was like, no, that's not the whole point. Like there's magic involved. John Constantine's in it, of
Mhm.
course. Why not? Um,
Why
there's
not?
a lot of BS. Like that doesn't necessarily need anything to be like, "Oh my god, this is amazing and thought provoking." It's just like, "Hey, this is fun. This is just fun."
I had the sudden realization as you were talking that my
Mm.
opinion on this movie is probably heavily influenced by the fact that we very recently watched Batman Azteca, which was like the perfect
Oh,
Elseworld story ever.
100%.
And I'm like, you could have done so much more. Like, I have evidence that you could do Elseworlds very well. Why couldn't it have been this?
Well, if animation, why not same? I don't understand. Like,
Yeah.
why
Uh-huh.
why can't it be like
Yeah.
this? It's very frustrating. But I think
We haven't got to the comic book characters.
That's true. Yeah, we haven't even got to the comic book character. You know what, Sly? As I update this background, why don't you hit us with the comic book
Uh-huh.
characters?
Alright, we got the titular Superman. We got Lois Lane and Svetlana Lang, uh, not mentioned here, but that's fine. Lex Luthor, fuck that guy. Wonder Woman, incredible, love her. James Olsen, which was exciting for me, big James fan, I guess. Braniac, Jon Stewart, my boy. Hal Jordan, a bunch of other lanterns that just kind of show up, and Batman.
Batman, Comrade Batman, man, what a
Comrade Batman.
and that was definitely a thing. Again, not reading the book in like 20 years, watching the movie, and then seeing the movie, and I was like, oh man, I totally forgot what kind of character you are because I just keep thinking how cool that suit is, and I was like, that's enough. No, it's not
It's a
enough.
cool suit.
It's not enough. It's absolutely
Weird
not enough
choice.
to hold you on that one. Um, he is V for Vendetta, and that's
Mhm,
not for better or worse. Like there's a lot. V for Vendetta takes that allegory of like what's terrorism, what's not terrorism, and says
mhm.
it more eloquently than Comrade Batman's time in the in this movie. Um, you know what? It's
Yeah.
funny. We'll get right into it. Actually, it works perfectly. We'll get right to the Andrea Romano roundup. Again, we always shout out our voice director queen herself. This section I put Comrade Batman. What a weird choice.
Weird choice indeed. It
I
was
totally forgot he's just a mass murderer.
yeah,
Women, children,
'cause
I don't care.
why not? Yeah.
Yeah.
If you were Batman, raised in communist Soviet Union era Russia,
Hmm.
what other choice would you have than to be a mass murderer? I guess?
Yeah.
Is that
Is
what they're
Alfred
trying
is Alfred the reason that's what he needs to not be a mass murderer?
to say? Oh my
Because he has no
god.
Alfred, if you think about it.
Russian Alfred?
Oh my god.
Oh, see, I was imagining what if he did have Alfred at this
Well,
time.
he wouldn't be a mass murderer. He probably would have beaten
Right.
Superman. He would have defeated
Uh-huh.
him.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, he wouldn't have been a mass murderer, which is the most important part of his character.
Yeah.
It's so
Hold on.
strange because he is so wholeheartedly demented. There is something about Mark Millar. Again, he loves
Mhm,
writing. I think this is what he thinks Batman really
mhm.
is, should be, is like a mass murderer.
Fucked up.
Hmm. He's
Yeah.
gotten the chance,
Mhm.
a couple times to write. I think if I'm right, uh, has Mark Millar written other Superman stuff? Because I'm like, I feel
I
like
have
he
no
might
clue.
have, man. Like it. Yeah, he's written a couple things. It looks like, oh, I see Superboy. Oh, what did you do to him? Do not do that. Do not do that. No,
You're
sorry,
like,
I
"Not
forgot.
my boy."
Yeah, don't do that. Yeah, he's written a couple issues of that with it's interesting, like that he wrote.
Mhm,
But like I don't know, man. You're not the best person, I think, for this character. I think you work in that, hey, I write my own characters, and maybe every once in a
mhm,
while write like an edgy, like rated R character. I was like, yeah, go ahead, do that.
mhm.
I'm down. I'm down.
Yeah,
There's a couple things he's done. He did Civil War, the original Civil War. I think he had something smart to say
okay.
there. Um,
Mhm.
a broken clock is right twice a day. It also again
Exactly.
it depends on your edginess. There's some teenager out there
Mhm,
that's watching this and listen, you got to go through this. You got to be the edgy teenager that you are right now, and I
yeah.
support that because you'll get out of it. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm not saying it's a good thing. I'm just saying you
Mhm.
got to get through this phase.
It's
Read the
a
book.
fundamental, like, growth
Yeah,
experience that,
yeah.
you know,
Read this book. This is the book for
edgy
you right now.
teens usually turned out to be milder adults and, like, not that it's, like, not a phase or
Yeah,
whatever, but, like, I don't know, I feel like teenage years is your time to be edgy and experiment and figure out what you like and don't like, and if you're gonna be all in on fucking Comrade Batman, go for it, that's fine.
yeah,
Uh, we're open to you changing your mind in 10, 15 years, that's fine
yeah.
too.
That's the point, right? Like that's that you have to get through
Yeah,
this. Yeah, if you think like, hey, because again, I am in the generation reading his comics that I'm like,
mhm,
oh man, Red Sun. I had pretty good time. Made me think a lot. Like, did it really though? But then Civil War is there, right? And Civil War is this grand epic. Like, it is one of the
Yeah.
touchstones of Marvel Comics, and it's him. He did an amazing job on it. He did a great
Mhm.
job, and like maybe some things don't translate so well, like 20 years ago, which is again, he's a very
Mhm.
brutal Scottish
Very
man. Yeah,
different world.
yeah, exactly. It feels very post 9/11 too. That Civil War,
Yeah.
especially what
Mhm.
happens in that
God,
story. Um,
this 9/11 story is worth being
so
written 20
many.
years ago.
There's so many. There's so many
That's
allegories
fun.
for it. Like it's so.
Yeah, no, I just was, brutally humbled by how old I was, it's fine.
Yeah, well, I don't wanna think about it. Right? Um, but yeah, then, for everything like that, he does have a want, and I get it. Like, I get the
Mhm,
idea of wanting to make your own characters, make your own universes, and you're so talented. I mean, you can't deny he's not talented. It's
mhm.
just the level of detail that he puts into his stuff. Like, did he have to write all the essay stuff? It's like
Yeah,
I think there's a good director in Michael Bay. This is the allegory I'm making, the connection between.
okay.
I think there's a good director in Michael Bay, as long as Michael Bay is, no pun intended, kept at bay. I think if he had someone to tell him, "Hey, man, you went
He
too
has a
far."
strong yeah, a
Yeah,
strong editor who will reel that right back
yeah, or a
in.
producer be like, "Hey, I will stop giving you money if you please stop putting
Mhm,
these racist ass Transformers in this movie."
mhm,
You have black or stereotypical black Transformers in a very predominantly black city in Philadelphia. Do not do this,
mhm,
Michael Bay. It was like, no, I'm gonna do it. I was like, but you also film Bad Boys 2, which does not feel stereotypical at all. It feels very
mhm.
genuine to those characters. Like again, broken clock,
Right,
right twice a day. Like
yeah.
the Island's a
Mhm,
really smart sci-fi movie from him. Again,
mhm,
things could be right. Again, he needs somebody. You need somebody in a Mark Millar, or
yeah,
someone like a publisher to be like, hey man, too far. And when he doesn't have that, again, you have some
mm,
in Kick Ass. We're like, oh wow, it's pretty rough, but I see where you're
yeah,
coming from. It's like very edgy. I get it. I get it. It's kind of the superhero you probably wanted as a kid. You wanted to read, and then it's like, oh, and then his friend got essayed. Okay, I think I'm done.
mhm.
I think I'm really uncomfortable
Like,
with this.
here's the thing is, like, if you need to work through those feelings by telling a story about it, that's fine. Maybe work through it with a therapist,
Yeah, do that.
maybe don't publish it. Those could be journal thoughts,
Yeah,
you know?
I do love
More things should be journal thoughts.
I do love it, and I will say this because I want someone like Case or anyone to comment down below, because there is a rivalry between the two Scottish, Main Street writers that came around the same time. So we have Mark Millar,
Mm,
and we also have who we talked about in All Star Superman last week, Grant Morrison. And you
okay.
could tell that those writers, like, they are very heady. They have these specific thoughts they want to get across in their books and stuff like that. But at the same time, like, they do not like each other. They do not. And you could tell why they don't like each other. Um, it's very like I do yourself a favor out there, everyone watching. Go look up some interviews of Grant Morrison just talking about Mark Millar. You will laugh your ass off. Oh man. But
Incredible.
Comrade Batman was a choice. And it's
Mhm,
so rough seeing him kill so many people. And again, innocent children.
mhm,
Innocent
mhm.
children, man. Like that is
Children,
insane.
period. Children,
It's
lots
so
of them.
rough. It's so fucking rough to watch, man. Um, Next,
Mhm,
this guy, I feel like these two kind of go hand in hand. So this kind of touches upon our episode 2 weeks ago in Watchmen, and we
okay.
had a discussion with Ozymandias's um plan at the end, of uniting the
Mhm,
world and with some kind of alien threat. And with that, we had a discussion about like, would this really work? I brought up
mhm.
Independence Day as a poor example of that working in its sequel. But the sequel shows that like there's no world war after, those aliens
Mhm,
fight and the harvesters and stuff attack. And we talked about that, and the end of Watchmen, spoilers for that episode, and Watchmen if you've never read it, watched it or anything. Well, I don't know how you got this far into the show. That feels like a essential. Um, with that, at the end, Dr. Manhattan kills Rorschach because like the
Mhm.
secret can't go out, and
Yeah.
Ozymandias is right, Night Owl's right, and the certain like they feel like they're right. Like if that story gets out, this is for nothing. Like all the
Right.
horrible shit that we
Everything
went
they
through is worth nothing. Like the peace that we have. So
Mhm.
in here, we don't have a fabricated like threat. It is a legitimate alien threat to Earth in Brainiac, and it basically takes out the superpower that is the Soviet Union, or is set up by
Mhm.
Superman in this universe, and it also propels America to back down from some of their stuff that they were doing and like all the needless
Mhm.
violence that they were enacting. And Lex actually learns a lesson. This is another 2 weeks in a row we have a movie where Lex Luthor learns a lesson, and it's frightening every
Yeah.
time.
Uh-huh. That's
It's like,
terrifying.
yeah,
Genuinely
and
unsettling.
every time Superman was right. It's the main
Mhm.
clue to that. Um, so the subsection I put like to make a perfect world. What is this story trying to tell us? And after last week and 2 weeks ago and this week, does an alien threat really unite a world? Was Ozymandias right? Sly?
I think the amount of time that an alien threat would unite the world is limited. I think we can all band together at a certain point and say, existential threat, we're putting aside our grievances, we're going to tackle this threat. The minute that threat is done, maybe 5, 10 years maximum. Things are going to go bad again. But what is the story trying to
Somebody's going
tell
to do
us?
something stupid, and it's probably America.
Right. Yeah, correct. And that leads perfectly into what this story is trying to tell us, which is that American exceptionalism is always the answer, which I vehemently disagree with. And
Which
like this movie really pushed the idea that Superman, like communist Russia, Superman's ideals are bad and wrong, and American Superman's ideals are good and just. And so when Soviet Superman then gets American exceptionalism ideals, then he is right and just. And that just really doesn't work for me,
yeah.
especially in the era of we are fully clinging on to the whole truth, justice, and a better tomorrow slogan.
Mhm.
And we're really embracing Superman as a worldwide protector instead of a American protector. And what does it mean to be super? That's a question that, most superhero media will grapple with. Um, I think the one that does it the best probably is The Incredible. Shout out, love that.
That movie's way too good. Yeah.
Way too but it's so this whole premise of the story is built upon the idea of what would Superman look like if he was raised with not John and Martha Kent's ideals, and what that would do to the world. And if the answer is dictatorship, we consider dictatorship bad, even if he's trying to quote unquote fix the world. And so it can only be good when he realizes that the only answer is the American way. That doesn't work for me, especially in a 2025 world.
Yeah. I think it also again very interesting coming from you know a Scotsman. You know,
Yeah.
a very
Yeah.
like pro gun, pro violent like media Scotsman. Like I
Mhm.
still struggle to say I feel like I'm doing disservice to him. Like I want to reiterate the man is talented. I can't you can't deny
Mhm.
that he's not talented. I'm just saying like stories. If you don't like the stories, I totally get it.
Mhm.
I can't read Want It ever again. I can watch that movie. I think the concept of assassin, a world of assassins, cool. Not a
Mhm,
world of villains that go to different universes and essay and kill and do this
mhm.
and that and just drink and do whatever they take
Man could be
steroids.
great with a strong editor,
Yeah,
I think.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just weird to see the Scotsman, right? Like
Mhm,
again, our two examples because again we're going back to back from All Star Superman, an amazing
mhm,
Elseworld title, to this
mhm,
another Elseworld title, and they're both written by prominent Scott writers
mhm,
that came around the 2000s and like
mhm,
the late 90s, and they've really found prominence in the 2000s and aughts. And they both are talking about how important Superman is, and they're
mhm,
both talking about it in a very different light, and I
mhm,
feel Grant Morrison really touches upon what makes Superman special, and
mhm.
in a way that he does try to do the truth, justice, and the American way kinda deal, but, like, the Captain
Yeah.
America kinda way, you know? Not, like, pushing the American agenda, but, like, this is what America
Yeah.
should be.
It's the ideal of
Yeah,
America. It's what
exactly.
we want to craft the world into something we can be proud of, and
Yeah.
that's what they're pushing forward as the American way.
Yeah.
You know, stealing and pillaging land in the idea of creating an idealistic country is what we were built on. So,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
try to push that as the message of your story. I get that. But it just I don't know. Again, something about this just I had so much potential, and I felt so let down by all of it.
No, I agree because again, you have Grant Morrison writing a book that's again truth, justice, the American way, but like the ideals and like it's a that title we mentioned it last week and we mentioned it as well when we had Mario previously on before last week's episode when we talked about James Gunn Superman.
Mhm,
James Gunn Superman is highly, inspired by All-Star Superman, and you see why, right? Like Morrison really understands the character that is Clark Kent, that is Superman, that is Kal-El, and he sees his place in the world, and he understands like the impact that he has and stuff. And it really is like this idealistic, like this is what America should be, this is what a person should be. It doesn't have to be super. The most important character again in James Gunn Superman movie is that falafel cart guy who gave him, falafel one time for free. And Clark
mhm.
writes an article
Yeah,
about him at the very end of the movie because truly at the end he
yeah,
is a hero that saved the universe, the world.
yeah, and
Um,
he knows that one way he can continue being a hero is through his Clark persona
yeah,
and, like, telling the stories of the unseen, and that's another way he is serving the world and the people that he loves so dearly.
yeah, and then you have, you know, Mark Millar, who's like Team America, like America, fuck yeah, like that's there's guns and people dying, shit like that.
But, like, the way he interprets okay, let me clarify. The way this movie interprets Superman through that lens is Superman only cares about him and his. Like, the way he only saves Lana, the way he only cares about Russia because it's the people who care about him, the
Hmm.
way he only worries about, like, what his perception as a leader is to the rest of the country because it reflects poorly on this country that's so fundamental to, like, his ideas of greatness, like, "I have created this great nation, and the fact that other people don't see that is personally affecting me." Like, that I just couldn't figure out how he got there by taking the, like, card that he pulled that said Superman and the card that he pulled that said Soviet or Russia and smashed them together. Like,
Yeah,
that jump doesn't work if you don't find a way to explain why Clark has the ideals he does without it just being, "Oh, and he saw the light, he saw the American perspective, now he's good Superman again."
yeah. He's this mild-mannered reporter walking through this U.S. crowd at the end in Washington D.C. Like it's like, what are you doing? And then you have something where at one point when again, we're going full spoilers, when he initially defeats Brainiac and you feel like
Uh-huh.
we're led to believe that Brainiac's under his control and he's doing all this stuff, and Brainiac works for him and he's using him.
Speaking of Braniac,
Yeah,
that okay, that twist did not work for me at all because it's Brainiac.
yeah, I knew it was
Are
coming.
we
Yeah, it's like,
genuinely believing that Brainiac was reprogrammed and under Clark's control?
yeah, yeah,
Brainiac. Like,
exactly.
okay, if it would have been some other space tech-based alien, whatever, okay, sure, fine, whatever. I'd buy it. But Brainiac
Yeah. Yeah,
didn't work.
it's just so it's so and then I think what did I put? I was like, "Did Superman really make Brainiac rebuild the ship?" And then I was like, "See, you can't trust Brainiac, man." I was like, "You just can't." Like, it's inevitable. Like, again, it's just one of, like, the universe constants. Like, Brainiac will do something to betray you. The only good
Uh-huh.
Brainiac is Brainiac 5 in the Legionnaires. That's it. And he learned because the rest of
We
the Brainiacs
love
suck.
we love Brainy. Big
Yeah.
fan.
That's the only good Brainiac. But you know, there's no way to root for the Superman because even at one point when he's like going through like, hey, famine's down this much, people are doing this or that. Yeah, he's like Brainiac says something about like, oh, ever since he says the full actual drug name, but he's Prozac. He puts Prozac in the water. Superman and Brainiac put Prozac in the water, so there's less suicides.
Yeah.
I was like, okay,
Uh-huh.
yes, that would work. But Kaba, what the fuck? Like,
Yeah. I like, okay, I'll give them one thing. Russia tends to have a higher suicide rate.
yeah,
That not entirely untrue. But also, why is that the solution?
yeah, Prozac.
Brainiac said Prozac the water.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do it.
These humans are struggling. They are struggling. They need help. What how can we help them? Let's put Prozac in their water. Fuck, that sounds good, I guess. Jesus Christ.
Honestly, Depression era America could have also used Prozac water. I'm gonna say right now, current America could use Prozac water.
This is after I took my anti-anxiety meds, by the way. I'm talking about this like half an hour into the taking them. I was like, oh yeah,
Mhm.
this is really funny. Um But it's so fucking odd to see that, man. And then he just does all this stuff, and you're like, dude, you cannot trust this man. Even so much so when
Mhm.
Diana confronts him on it. And like at
Right.
this point in the film, let's talk about Diana for a little bit because she is the shining beacon,
She's
as
perfect.
always.
No notes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
correct.
Yeah, she is the best part of this, and she is literally one where it's like, okay, hey, the whole world thinks the USSR is this, and everyone thinks America is this. I'm trying to find a middle ground to actually unite this world, and you guys are
Yeah,
not listening. Okay, fuck both of y'all. I'm out. I don't give a
yeah.
fuck anymore.
She's like, "I'm trying to be the ambassador between these 2 nations led by capital M men who are idiots, but neither of you are listening to me, so I'm gonna go peace out, enjoy my nice little paradise island, and, say fuck you." And she looks very hot doing it. She's always the voice of reason throughout this entire movie
Yeah.
on both sides. Although do shout out, sorry, I'm thinking too much about the Soviet. Oh, no. Lois was also
Yes,
great besides,
she was great. Yeah,
her being a first lady. Gross. Uh,
it's like that's why we need a Clark in America. You gotta
mm,
stop this man as a
mhm,
girl.
mhm,
Also, Pete Ross is right
yeah,
there. Just be with Pete. He's a good
true,
man.
true. I'd be fine with that.
Jimmy Olsen,
Um,
somebody, come on.
what was the point of this? Oh, Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman was great.
Yeah, she was amazing. And then you have a note here, which is great because I did want to talk about it. I don't know if I mentioned this. I wanted to talk about it though, but like Diana, I love
Uh-huh,
Superman. First of all, knowing he's like politically, I would have to probably be with the superpower. Oh, okay, let me try to work up the nerve, and he tries to go to and kiss, and she pulls him back like, "Whoa, what do you think is happening here?" He's like, "I thought we would have to do this and all this stuff." She's like, "No, I don't. I'm not into you." And he's
I'm
like, "Oh,
a lesbian.
yeah," and he goes, "Oh, thank God."
Oh, thank God indeed. If that's not the most asexual moment I've ever seen on
Dude,
screen,
yeah, this
I
is
don't know what to
a
tell you.
his and which is that's little things like that is what makes like it was like the breadcrumbs that got me through the story, right?
Yeah,
Because like it is
Uh-huh.
interesting to think of it, and because he seems like he might have a thing for Lois, but not, again, not in a traditional sense. Like
Mhm.
it could
No.
be in an asexual sense where they have like these attachments to people and these emotional
Uh-huh.
attachments, but not like I don't think it would have gone anywhere. Like I think he was only
Right.
going to be physical with Diana because he felt like he needed to.
He had
And
to be, yeah.
yeah, and when she said no, he's like, "Oh, for real? Oh, I didn't want to do this at all."
It's really giving the Soviet era posters of, like, where they were trying to promote, like, I don't know, communism, I guess? I don't know,
Yeah.
but it's the gay twinks on the propaganda poster, and especially in the, like, era of, like, trying to build, like, relations between the USSR and China, and so
Mhm.
there's, like, some, like, mixed race couples. I don't know, all of them are such a slay. I want them on my wall. If people wouldn't be like, "Why the fuck do you have Soviet era propaganda
Bro,
posters on
are
your wall?"
you a Russian
They're
spy? No, I swear to
gorgeous.
God, no. No, I'm
They're
just
so
queer.
cool. I'm so scared, I promise.
I promise you, I'm just gay. I'm not a communist spy, okay? Don't call Trump.
No.
Don't do
I
that.
think I could be a pretty good communist spy. I don't think anybody would have ever seen me coming, to be honest.
There you go. I agree. Slap for communism. Don't clip that out anymore. uh,
Jesus
but
Christ.
yeah, it's that little things like that, and again, you have to credit the writing. Again, broken clocks right twice a day. Um,
Mhm,
you have a moment like that, and you're like, ah, man, and you brought up the asexuality of it. I don't think he would have had a name for it, in the
uh-huh.
2000s, but he wasn't opposed to. They weren't great depictions of great characters, but Mark Millar would have done that. So like having Wonder Woman be gay, it's like one of those things. Like, yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense, and it's brilliantly told, and there's nothing to it. Like Superman's not scorned. There's not anything. He's not weird. He's like even more fact. He's like even more friendly with her. He's like, oh my god, now I actually have a friend, like and a partner. Like this is gonna be fun now. Like I have someone I can bounce ideas off of. Like there's no weird attachments I have to do. I don't have to do anything weird. Like I think humans are weird that they do that. Like he seems like more alien in that sense, and there's a thread we could pull there, but he just doesn't do it. He's like skips over it to like, let's talk about America more. It's like, no, dude, like you're right there. You're right there. You had this like little, let's talk about this asexual little, Superman, but it's like, nah, I'm not gonna worry about that. Like, fuck, man, come on. you know?
Yeah.
And then you're like looking out for
Okay.
like little grains in the sand.
I did find the posters I was talking about. I sent you a link in our recorded chat. Posters number 3 and I think it's 5 specifically were the 2 I was thinking about.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
Uh-huh. Friendship,
Yeah. That
right?
is
Yeah.
somebody in Russia was trying to be like, "Hey guys, I'm gay. I'm trying to let y'all know." Like this is like,
Mhm.
the hidden meaning behind stuff.
Super
Like,
illegal, but that's
oh yeah.
fine.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. 100%.
And they were roommates.
Yeah, they're just lifelong roommates. Yeah, you'd be
Uh-huh.
Uncle Joe and Bob. They've been roommates forever. It's like, yeah, sure, roommates. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Nah, I
Yeah.
said that.
Uh-huh.
That's
Right.
literally my mom.
Love that.
Yeah. That's literally my
Mhm.
mom. Like,
Mhm.
what do you mean she's not really my aunt? That's weird. Why do y'all sleep in each other's rooms sometimes? That's weird. All right,
That's
good
it.
night. Mhm. Here's another comic book. Sure, I'll read this comic book to ignore whatever y'all doing. That's why I saw a therapist for a long time.
Mhm. There
Had
you
to
go.
unpack
We
that.
love therapy. This
Yeah,
is a pro therapy episode.
very yeah. Mark Millar needs it. Grant Morrison might need it. But I'm sure he went to therapy.
Probably. Yeah.
But everyone needs it. It's go seek help. It's fine. It's okay. Um, so
I
with that,
like how you said that, like, "You need help. Go seek help."
yeah, all of us need a little help.
Yeah.
Especially in 2025. Um,
Mhm.
what would you like to touch upon note wise here? Because I feel there's like little fun things we haven't talked about Bizarro, or was it Superior
Oh, we
Man?
have not talked about Superior Man.
Voiced perfectly by
I
Travis
got
William. He did great.
yeah, great. I was incredibly disappointed because I thought we were getting Connor, and then we got
Yeah.
more Bizarro-ish, and then it was Superior. Wow, I
Cool.
can't say that.
Yeah.
Superior Man.
Stupid
That was
ass
great. I liked that.
symbol.
Yeah, very stupid, but, it was fun. I love a clone. I feel like you could tell that about everything about me. I do like a clone. There's so much angst potential in
Why,
there.
yeah, and
The
why did Lois
angst
stay with him?
opportunities.
Lois stayed with Lex after he murdered a
Mhm,
living being. Like she was cool with it.
mhm.
She yells at
Yeah,
him, and then she's like, yeah, "I'll stay."
I feel like Lois is cool with anything that'll get her a good story? Question mark?
True.
I don't know. Who is Lois in this movie? Was a question I was asking frequently. Who the fuck is Bruce in this movie? Was a question I was also asking it frequently.
Trust me, it's
But
fucking
one thing I
Rorschach and
was
V mixed together. Like that's what he is.
truly, um, there was a lot of accents in this film, and they were a choice. But one thing is that the Superman, that's not how he said it.
Mhm.
But the way he said it in the Russian accent just did not hit the same. It was very much like Superman, and I was like, "Where's my Superman?
Yeah,
Fuck
right.
yeah!"
So
Mhm.
it's about it. And I mean, shout out to Jason Isaacs because like I again going to the movie knew it was
Let's
him.
talk about Jason Isaacs.
Watched the film, completely
Uh-huh.
forgot that it was him. I'm thinking I'm gonna get
Uh-huh.
some Malfoy, like or whatever, or like his
Mhm.
normal like talking voice. No, not at all. He is so goddamn talented. And then came out of it, looked on IMDb. I'm like, fuck, I did forget again. That's Jason Isaacs. Like, Jesus Christ, he did such a
Uh-huh.
great job. That dude's
Yeah.
way too talented for
And
us.
a fucking root from Person of Interest as Lois.
Amy Acker.
Very good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I love that you went
I
person of
I
interest.
only know her from
Not
Person of Interest.
not Buffy, not the Buffy verse. Fred,
No,
Winifred. Our beloved Fred
the
and Anya. No,
yeah,
no,
nope,
Ayana.
mm-mm.
Ayana. She was a demon. She was awesome.
Couldn't tell you. Root for Person of Interest was really good.
Man, you know what, man? Knowing what we know now about Joss Whedon and like how he
Mhm,
represents like characters and stuff, and like
mhm,
how it's not 100% great back in the day. We
mhm.
should do like a Whedonverse podcast down the line. Oh my god, we could
I don't
dissect
know if
that.
I'm emotionally prepared for that.
Yeah,
That
because
would be
like
a lot.
the great is gonna hit great, and then the questionable stuff is gonna be very questionable, man. And then
Yeah.
now we have all this new context, Not that we're
Mhm,
gonna get to it, but we have all this new context. We're like, hey man, I was uncomfortable with this. This goes back to the
mhm,
same thing I was talking about Mark Millar doing. That one scene,
mhm.
it was like
Yeah.
and Josh told me to shut the fuck up. I was like, oh shit, he is a monster.
Uh-huh.
I got you. Goddamn.
Yeah. I will say I did love Svetlana. I
Anna
did
was great.
have a out loud "oh" realization when I went to type her name in Cyrillic that I went,
Mhm.
"Oh, Svetlana, Lana leg, duh." So that did crack me up.
That
Um,
is a change from the comics. I think it is just Lana. They
mm,
call her Lana and then give her like
oh,
a
really?
Russian name because of course.
Mhm,
But this is like
of course.
Svetlana would make more sense. Like
Uh-huh.
I can only think
Whatever.
Mark Millar was like at 2 o'clock in the morning smoking a cigarette, drinking his like eighth pint of beer. Like fuck, I can't think of a name for like what I would call Lana. Fuck it, I just call Lana. I've been on this for too long.
Mhm. Yeah, uh-huh. But yeah, the Russian was severely lacking for a film about Russia, but that's
Yeah,
fine.
yeah. Yeah, you know what's funny? The people watching again. This is at least PG-13, right? I don't think it's R. Um,
I think so. I did not actually pull it up, but
we never
keep
talk about
talking.
ratings on these. We never talk ratings in these movies. Only like when it's like, oh shit, this is rated R, like Watchmen. But
Uh-huh,
with this, yeah, I just like the people watching this aren't gonna be children, right? They're gonna be
mhm.
teenagers, and we're talking about 2020, where like anime is starting to get at the highest. That now we're at the
PG-13
oh yeah, so like we're getting teenagers, young adults, and like us, right? Like watching this. So
and,
yeah, yeah,
derogatory.
I'll drag you in this one. Um, we don't mind subtitles, man. We're okay with subtitles. Some people prefer subtitles when they watch certain media, so
I exclusively watch things with captions
Ex-
and or subtitles.
so yeah, so at that point,
Yeah.
just put a little, sprinkle a little more Russian in there. Sprinkle a little more
Uh-huh.
Russian in there. There's I just saw a theatrical movie.
Sprinkle any. There's like
Yeah,
maybe 2 sentences.
I just saw a theatrical film. Not to, I try not to date us too much. Ah, fuck it, I don't care. We always do this
Sure.
every time.
It's
I
like
just
two
saw
weeks away. It's
Predator.
fine.
Yeah, I just saw Predator Badlands,
Okay, okay.
and
Mhm.
it was phenomenal. But with that film, obviously, it's American audience. Disney's a major
Mhm.
motion picture company, so they're not gonna have it completely be in the alien language. But what they do is they don't change his language. He speaks, I don't know what the fuck their language is called, but whatever the Yautjas speak
Mhm.
the whole
Mhm.
time. The whole time. And then he
Okay.
only says like one or two like words in English that I guess they don't have
Mhm.
a word for in his alien language.
Right.
But they get around it very, cheekily when Elle Fanning's character, the synth, is like, "Oh, you're hearing me talk in your language, and any other alien will hear me talk in their language. I have a universal translator." I'm like, "Cool,
Mhm.
I get it. It's space, and it's the far future. That's
Right,
what we
it's
do."
space.
Yeah, I'm cool with that. But like, I watched an hour and a half movie where the main character did not, other than like a word or two, did not speak a lick of English. And
Hell
I was
yeah.
like, "Listen,
We
man,
love
we have
that.
come a long way. It just made like so much fucking money this past week. It's the highest grossing Predator movie of all time. Like all this other stuff was made on a like budget. It's PG-13, which it doesn't content wise. There's no red blood. That's why it's PG-13 because it is brutal as fuck. And this is like a
Yeah.
mass market movie, and it's like, damn, Disney, like do this more, man. Like I'm okay
Mhm.
with reading subtitles, and here you go with this. They have a chance, right? We watched Batman Azteca in Spanish,
Mhm.
you know?
Yeah.
And I only had the
Half the
subtitles
time I
on.
had Spanish captions on.
Yeah, I only had the captions on just for like the off word that I did like that didn't translate from
Mhm.
Puerto Rican to Mexican. I was like, oh, I got you. I know
Mhm.
what you're saying now. Like
Yeah.
that's the only reason I had it on. Like that again, but that's a movie we're talking about 2020, and it's a
Mhm.
story based in the aughts
Uh-huh.
versus a movie that just came out in 2025 that has been
Right.
developed in a while in the landscape that is the world that is 2025 now. So
Mhm.
like, yes, there is an English dub, but we all prefer to watch it in Spanish. It was
Yeah. It was
animated in
gorgeous.
Spanish. Yeah, it was better.
Beautifully done. Yeah.
But like, could you imagine just a couple more segments in this in Russian? I think it would have
Yeah. And
popped it.
I feel like my problem is so often in movies, I am physically like taken out of engaging with the media if at any point I go, wait, why are we speaking in English?
Yeah,
Like, at, like what is the in world reasoning for these characters to be speaking in English right now? And if the answer is the audience is English minded, that's not good enough for me. Like, one of the best TV shows I've seen, especially from a streamer, was The Brother's Son. It's a Netflix original. This is not a podcast about that, although I would love to talk about that show on a podcast. Somebody, anywhere, ask me on. I'll say yes. Um, but that show does such a good job of knowing exactly when which characters would be speaking what language, and it makes sense in the universe, and it makes sense in the context of their lives in a way that's, I would say, flawless. And so every time there's a point where I'm like, "Wait, why are these characters speaking English?" It's not for my benefit, I don't care, I can't hear them half the time
yeah.
anyway.
Like you're not doing it
But,
for
like,
me.
I
Don't
just
worry.
right, it just takes me out of the storytelling so aggressively when I have to, like, consider the implications of a storytelling choice that doesn't feel genuine to the story you're trying to tell me.
Yeah, I was thinking about it in the lens of fighting games too. We have the
Mhm,
big three, which are Mortal Kombat, Tekken, and Street Fighter. And Street Fighter being one of the oldest. Street Fighter will like because I've been playing the story mode recently. Will dub everyone's. Doesn't matter. Like you go see
mhm,
Dalsim, who's
yeah,
in India, he is dubbed in English. You see Ryu in Japan, he is dubbed in English. Again, amazing voice actors. Don't get me wrong,
mhm,
but the cool thing about like Mortal Kombat does the same thing, but Mortal Kombat does
mhm,
oddly. This is a weird world where I feel like
Mhm.
everyone interacts with everyone so much so because all the
Yeah.
alien and interdimensional shit that like everyone speaking English does not feel weird to me like it does in Street Fighter.
Mhm.
But Tekken is the cool one where you would have someone like there's a French character. I forget what his name is,
Okay.
but he's voiced by Vincent Castle, the French actor and
Okay.
director.
Mhm.
And the whole time you're playing as him, when you're doing combos, anything like that, or when he introduces himself in the middle of a match or anything like that, he speaks in French. They just subtitle him.
Hell yeah.
And he could be fighting
Incredible.
against, Jin Kazama, who is a Japanese, person, and he's gonna speak in Japanese, or you fight Horang, who's a Korean, fighter, and he will only speak in Korean. Like, and if you have someone from America like Paul Phoenix, he's gonna talk in English, but like no one speaks each other's languages. They all
That's
like
cool.
unless they are from a country that does like bilingual or
Mhm.
anything like that, then they will do both. But like it's rare, and, like, the characters will introduce themselves and be like talk full Japanese to you while Paul Phoenix comes in and he's like, "Yeah, man, Imma kick your ass too." Like, he knows what they're saying. We're not playing dumb. It
Love
doesn't
that.
matter. They're about to you're throwing toys together, like, in the middle of it, but that little
Right.
step, like, helps. And then, yeah,
Mhm.
it would help a little more to go just ever so slightly, right? Like, a little more
Mhm.
with the Russian would have been just even if Lex was
Yeah.
like, "Hey," like, just spoke to him, like, the first time he meets Superman, spoke to him in Russian, and Superman be
Mhm.
like, "I understand your language, like, I can speak I know, like, however many
Right.
languages, I can speak to you in yours." Like, "Alright, well, you
Mhm.
tried," like, you're doing
Yeah,
something.
you try. Yeah. And now that I've outed myself as a communist, Soviet era Russian sympathizer, uh, I also want to talk about the James Olsen of it all
Yeah.
because that was fun.
Yeah,
I love James.
he was a
Well,
CIA
okay,
handler,
I
right?
have feelings about yeah, I have feelings about Supergirl a couple seasons in James Olsen. But that's because it's TV and they
Yeah.
had way too many episodes to fill. It's fine. Um, I loved him.
Yeah.
I loved everything about him. Okay, I didn't love him working for Lex, but why else would he have been there if he wasn't working for
No,
Lex? So
you know what's
I
funny,
can
though?
forgive that.
He felt like the angel on Lex's, shoulder.
Mhm.
Right? Like, you
Yeah,
felt like we are doing these crazy things because even at one point when Bizarro or, Superior Man happens,
yeah,
like, he like, "Yo, what the" like, he's a CIA operative too at that point, he's
mhm,
a handler, so he knows he's
yeah.
probably did some nasty shit in his past,
Mhm,
and you're like he's like, "Yo, what the fuck? That was like a living thing." Like, him and Lois give him shit
yeah,
for it, but they're there with him, so,
yeah.
like, it is just
They should
like
give him more shit for
they
it,
should.
but
I
kinda
agree, I
brushed
agree.
that one off real quick.
Way too quick. They move past that way too
Yeah.
quick. Like, I get it's a
Mhm,
clone, it's still a living thing. Don't you killed that thing way too quick.
mhm.
But yeah, he has an incredible journey in the background of this film where he is just a
Yeah,
handler, then he becomes like a trusted aide to Lex and all this stuff, and then he becomes vice president, And
mhm.
again, it's almost
And
like
then he becomes president.
the president of the United States. Yeah.
The president. I will say the 2 things this movie did very well, excellently, I might say, were Diana was literally perfect
Yeah.
in everything she said and did, and at the very end, I put in my notes, "Wow, 2020 said, 'You know what we need? Leaders gracefully stepping down and another Black president.'" And I said, "Hell yeah to that.
Yep.
Amen,
Yep.
brother."
Yeah. Again, broken clock, right twice a day. Um Yeah, it was interesting to see that. I did love that. I think that was one of the shining beacons of that storyline to see his rise slowly.
Mhm.
And again, you it's like headcanon, right? You're watching the movie and you're like, I
Right.
feel like in my head after watching this film twice, reading the story once, it's like I feel like James Olsen in this is just trying to make Lex a better person because Lex always has the ability to
Yeah.
do good. And he skirts the line throughout this whole story where he does good things and then he does very bad things for bad reasons. And then
Mhm.
he does bad things for good reasons and then good things for bad reasons. Like he's a very layered character in this, and it's
Uh-huh.
interesting to watch him as he like ebbs and flows all the way up and down, throughout the years that this covers. Um
And should people of color be the, like, moral guiding light for white men in power? No,
no.
not particularly. But we still love you, James.
Yeah.
Good work.
Yeah.
You're doing your best.
Yeah, we don't need that trope. We don't need that trope all the
No.
time. Yeah. It definitely felt like Mark Millar was reading, like watching a movie. He was like, I know what I'll do. I'm like, no, okay, you try, you're trying. And look
We're
at
trying,
TikTok.
I guess.
Yeah, TikTok told there's a lot. There's a lot of black Scotsmen out there. You could have just found them,
Mhm,
Mark Millar. You could have just found
mhm.
them and just talked to them. But okay.
Yeah.
Um,
Have you talked to a single black person?
yeah,
It's a great question to ask
yeah.
that,
It,
man.
it is. It is. Um, one thing I wanted to pull up, and I love this because this is like a running theme throughout. Like anytime you see like a totalitarian Superman, man,
Mhm.
that guy loves lobotomies. He loves lobotomizing people. It's like his thing. It's
We
like,
love a lobotomy.
yeah, it's like, neck snapping for certain people. It's just like, man, you have a totalitarian Superman, he's gonna lobotomize you one way, shape, or form. Like he does that to all
Hell
the
yeah.
villagers. He's like, oh look, they're alive. He's like, but barely, they're zombies, dude. What the hell?
Mhm.
And I was thinking, and I know where you were probably thinking the same thing with Justice League.
Mhm.
When we finally get Doomsday in Justice League, we're like, oh shit, this is happening. And then you see Justice Lord Superman pop up and lobotomize Doomsday in one go. Like, oh
Mhm.
shit. That's
I
wild.
will be perfectly honest.
Mm,
What I was actually thinking about during
mm,
that was the fact that I was fully convinced, as somebody who is slightly too old to think I know everything that's going on the internet anymore,
mhm,
when Labubus became a thing. I
yeah,
still don't get them. It's fine.
yeah,
Not everything has to be for me personally.
mhm.
Um, I just kept seeing Labubu everywhere, and I was fully convinced that it was the new fun cutesy name for a lobotomy. It's like, wow, everybody's getting lobotomies? Hell yeah, good for you.
Oh, wait, how the health system is going for, women
Yeah. Mhm.
in this society. Who
Get
knows?
yourself a little Labubu, you
Yeah,
know?
just a little boo boo.
Be a little Delulu with your Labubu. Obviously.
Oh, where'd you get that scar? Oh, I got my Labubu yesterday. Now, now I don't criticize my husband anymore. Okay,
Mhm.
it's like, oh what?
Yeah,
It's like Stepford
exactly.
Wives. It's very Stepford Wives. Yeah,
Yeah, mhm.
that's
You get me.
hilarious. Yeah, but yeah, it said about Superman. Like I have a lot of power and I have to keep control. Lobotomize. What? Don't do
Yeah,
that.
uh-huh.
And even good
Why?
Superman, even good Superman,
Uh-huh.
in one of our movies that we covered, what was it, 2 seasons ago? Superman versus Lee, one of my favorite stories ever. Superman lobotomizes Manchester Black
Mhm,
in that.
mhm.
And he
Yeah,
doesn't like make a brain dead. He just takes that little bit of power. He's like, I
yeah.
found a little
Mm.
growth. Boom,
Yep,
done.
yep. Uh-huh.
It's like Superman, why is that your go-to, man?
Superman loves the lobotomy.
Yeah. He's like, yeah, I never told you guys in Krypton, we just do that all the time. And if they were bad enough even afterwards, fam zone.
Honestly, yeah, I would not be surprised. I would buy that as,
Yeah.
Kryptonian policy. That
Uh-huh.
makes sense.
We talked about Diana a little bit. There's a line I wanted to bring up before we kind of give
Uh-huh.
some of our last notes. When she's criticizing Superman. I keep want to call him Clark, but he really isn't Clark.
Right.
He names
No.
himself. He's like, I am Superman. Like I'm supposed to be.
Uh-huh.
He doesn't take a name. He's just like, I'm
No,
Superman.
nobody, gives him
No,
that name.
I
It's
think
not
I think
bestowed upon him.
yeah, I think Svetlana says his name once or twice, but like he once
Mhm.
he's in the government's hands, he's like, I am Superman. That's it.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, Diana criticizes me. She says because he says something about human nature. He's like, is it human nature or man's nature? And she
Mhm.
said that, and I was like,
You tell him,
"Girl,
girl.
you're not wrong. You're not wrong,
You're not
man.
wrong indeed.
God damn." She really is the hero of the
Yeah,
story, is Diana. She really is.
honestly.
Yeah.
I want a story about Diana and Lois and V for Vendetta
Yeah.
Batman.
Yeah.
That's what I wanna know about in this universe.
Um, anything you wanna
And
touch upon?
President James Wilson,
Yeah.
obviously.
Anything you wanna touch upon before we move on to, drama class?
Yeah, I want to say,
Mhm.
again, smoking, bad for you. Not a
Yep.
fan. Smoking, disgusting, gross, nasty. Can't stand it. However, comma, very hot.
Yeah. Something about Lois doing it. It's like, okay, let's see.
Mhm,
Yeah,
mhm, mhm. Again, Diana, very hot.
yeah.
We love ace representation in superhero media. I stan. I am still greatly disappointed that the clone was not Connor. I really wanted the Lex and Comrade Superman baby love
Oh my
child.
god, that would be so great.
It would have been great. I wanted it so badly. Um, and the Green Lanterns all thinking green thoughts sounded like they were trying to all get very high.
Yeah.
Think green thoughts, if you know what I mean.
Dude, yeah, what a they all look cool because I love that they're basically fighter jet pilots without
Mhm.
a jet.
Right.
Like they just use the collective willpower of this like one ring that
Uh-huh.
they've like mass produced between from Abinsur's ring. So it's like really cool to see. That again, that's one of my favorite costumes because it is like simple yet like effective. Again, kind of like
Mhm.
Comic Batman. He's like Batman but with like Russian hat and like all this stuff. Like
Yeah.
kind of looks cool. I don't know. That was a cool one. One thing I wanted to put, I was thinking about this throughout the whole film. And I didn't bring it up to the end. I was like, man, what an optimistic ending to this movie. I was like, also,
Mhm.
Lex Luthor definitely killed John F. Kennedy, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he definitely killed him.
I buy
Like,
that.
yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah, he killed the fuck
Yeah.
out of him. He's the reason. He probably shot the gun.
Yeah.
He's probably the man. He's like, no, 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 I'll do it myself. I
He
got it.
pulled the trigger. Yeah.
Yeah, he's
Uh-huh.
like,
Yeah.
you
No,
can't
he
hire
didn't
somebody for this.
outsource that.
No, no,
No.
it's too
No.
important.
He doesn't trust anybody.
No, no, exactly. I was like, man, that's weird.
Yeah. Mhm.
Also, I wish there
Oh,
was
yeah.
more green in Lex's suit at the end of the film when they're fighting Braniac.
Yeah.
I thought that was weird.
Yeah.
And then my that fight, I was like, honestly, wild image for this Earth, like people turning into the news and watching the heads of state of both the USSR and America fighting Brainiac. It's like weren't we just
Yeah.
enemies with them? Like this is wild. That like
Yeah.
if
Uh-huh.
modern day Putin is throwing
Uh-huh.
hands. Oh, I don't want to say that out loud.
With Biden?
Biden, yeah, say
It's
Biden,
2020.
Biden, yeah, this year, Biden and Putin throwing hands with Brainiac is like, what the fuck is
Uh-huh.
going on? I was like,
Yeah.
I literally got a lump in my throat
Do
before I
we
said that
think
orange man's name.
do we think Putin is still alive? Serious question.
Oh, in this story,
In current times.
we haven't heard from
I'm
him.
starting
That's true.
conspiracy. We have not heard from him in a
That's true.
while. And every time he pops up, I'm like, is it doctored? Is that a clone? Who knows?
You never
One may
know
never know.
Russian science. Yeah, you
But
never know.
genuinely, you never know.
I thought you meant with like because I thought you meant in the world of Superman Red Son. I'm like, I mean, possibly,
Oh,
right?
we
The
can bring
KGB
it
is a
back to
thing,
the
right?
real movie. Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah, the KGB is a thing, right? In that universe? Like,
Yeah.
so yeah, he's probably around.
He's a fucking general. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. He
Mhm.
probably has the aspirations. Oh shit though.
Oh, I'm
Fuck,
sorry. The
he definitely would have got
KGB has
power.
rebranded. They no longer go by the KGB. What do they go by now?
Oh, no, I'm not even sure. I forget. I know what you're talking about. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Uh,
The question is, does he in this fictional universe, now that there's no head of state for the USSR,
mhm,
but again, the world is united now because of Brainiac's attack. Does Putin get in charge? Does he take up that power vacuum, or does someone else, or does the USSR and the world just become one giant America?
mhm.
Like
It's the
they have a Denny's.
FSB now. It is not the
FSB.
KGB, it's the FSB. Yeah.
KGB sounds
Sorry.
better.
I had to be factually accurate. Like, stupid fucking comic book
Fair. Yeah, to be fair, we were never going to be able to go to Russia just because of who you and I are, but we doubled down on this episode.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Listen, if I could leave the country and get back in, which I currently can't, I'd go to Russia. I mean, I would take precautions, you
Yeah,
know,
a lot of precautions.
stay in the tourist safe areas
Yeah.
and, be as conservative as I can't be. I would love to see Russia. It's gorgeous. It's absolutely
Yeah.
stunning. Again, the tourist areas. We're ignoring the fact that they like board up the walls and hide all the poor people.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
On purpose.
on purpose. But yeah, I would go to Russia.
Yeah.
Invite me. Russia,
Sly was never
I
heard from
guess.
again. Right.
It's fine.
All right. That's our discussion. We're gonna move on to drama class. We got we got one line and one like scene from
Uh-huh.
the film. We'll start off with this Superman line. You want to be Brainiac, be Superman,
Hell yeah, I'll
and
be
then you can take the
Braniac.
final. You can take the final line. Okay.
Cool.
All right. You used me, manipulated me to. That's my Russian. That's not great. Manipulate me as I was a brainless puppet.
That's way more British. That was
Yeah,
you trying to
that
do an
definitely.
adjacent accent,
Yep.
trying
Yep.
to do a Russian
A
accent.
hundred. Yeah, 100%. That's my mouth away.
Okay. Uh, my methods were not unlike yours, only more efficient.
Until now,
This is illogical. You're merely a being of flesh, while I'm.
a useless machine. Superman always gotta get that one liner in, man. Always.
He loves a one-liner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does.
Speaking of one-liners,
There you go.
Wonder Woman, after almost being nearly assaulted by a Superman trying to kiss her, she's like, "No, thank you. Um, I come from an island of all women. Work it out for yourself."
I love how genuinely happy. We talked about this again, but like how genuinely happy Superman is
Okay.
at that
And the
moment.
light bulb moment where he's like, "Oh,
Oh.
obviously." And then they're besties. I
Yeah,
love that for him.
he's just so happy to have a friend. Like he even says that to her. He's like he's so genuinely happy. Like I just absolutely love that part.
Mhm,
Um
mhm.
Yeah. So that is drama class. We're gonna move on to homeroom with our final thoughts on this film. Sly, final thoughts on Superman Red Sun.
My genuine final thought was I just looked at the time and I thought this episode had lasted for maybe 15 minutes. And I was like, wow, that was a real short one today. And then I saw the time and it was a listener, it was
Yeah.
not 15 minutes.
No, we did it. We
This
actually
was a
made an
great time.
episode out of this.
We made an episode. Um Terrible movie. Okay premise. Like again, a cool idea, poor execution. The movie itself, like if you're going into it for a movie and not for, like, a thought piece, it's solid.
Yeah.
I would not recommend it. I don't know if I would want to read the book ever. Sorry. Uh, but I had a great time talking about it. Like, I'm glad we do this podcast so I can watch bad movies and then talk about
Yeah.
how bad they are.
Yeah, I
But
agree.
yeah.
Yeah. I agree. Like structurally speaking and like directorial and like all that stuff, the technical aspects of this film is good. It's a good film. You
Mhm.
know,
Yeah.
the animation is pretty good, especially what was going on in 2020. We mentioned that, you know, all the people getting laid off and like how long work
Mhm.
from home stuff took. So it is a
Mhm.
shining beacon in that sense. But story wise, again, this is where like it flounders. Like I
Mhm.
don't think there's not much fun with it other than the costumes. Like, honestly, God, like, there's not really much
Uh-huh.
fun to
Yeah.
delve from this story, right? Again, you have an elsewhere story. Like, for example, I mean, it's not a film, but like an elsewhere story where another one where Superman lands somewhere else, right? There's one where Superman lands in Gotham Harbor and it's found by Thomas and Martha
Mm.
Wayne,
Mhm.
who do not have a kid. And I don't think they
Mhm.
can have a kid. They name him Bruce Wayne. He's raised by
Mm.
them.
Mhm.
And as he's being raised by them, they go to see the Mask of Zorro. They go down a hallway, alleyway. They get shot right in front of them. I think Bruce, or you know Clark in this dimension, but Bruce,
Mhm.
I think that's when his powers activate. So he does take a life,
Mhm.
but he then becomes Batman and shows that
Yeah.
story. Alfred takes care of him and all this stuff. So that's an interesting story.
Mhm.
Like it doesn't necessarily need to
Yeah.
tell anything. There could be like a nature versus nurture thing, but like that's an interesting
Mhm.
premise, right? Where you can at least have fun. The Tom Taylor one I was talking about, where like he lands in medieval times, like that's an interesting theory. I think it's called Men of Steel. It might be called, or
Mhm.
like House of Steel. that's
Mhm.
interesting. That's fun, storyline and,
And
you
yeah,
know,
like,
twists and
I would
turns.
love, what if Clark ended up in X country? What if Clark ended up in Y country? And, like, giving writers who come from that background the space to play around in that as
To
Elseworlds,
to say
I think
something,
that'd be
right? With
really cool. Yeah,
the property.
they would have something to say, and I think the problem with this is it was trying so hard to have something to say, and it just really didn't say much of anything at all.
Yeah. It's interesting, right? Especially again, movie comes out in 2020, books from the aughts. And we just covered at the beginning of the season Batman Azteca. So this is like the literally flip of
Uh-huh,
a coin of that film. Like Batman
uh-huh.
Azteca is a
Yeah.
movie where it is an elsewhere storyline. What if Batman was born in this time? What is going on here? What would the implication
Mexican
mean?
creative team,
Exactly.
Mexican,
And they have
artistic
something to
team,
say, right?
and they got something to say. Yeah.
So, like, can you imagine a Russian, like, someone who left Russia, who's writing comic books and was like, "Oh, I have something interesting to say here with Superman Red Sun."
Yeah.
It'd be interesting. Now, like, for the most of Superman Red Sun's time in comic medium, and like, we have this film, we have the original story. He pops up from occasional, time for time where Superman needs someone to fight, or some Elseworld title. He's like, "Oh, you're Superman from Russia,"
Uh-huh,
or whatever. Like he pops up every once in a while. And it's cool merchandising because he does like the suit
uh-huh.
is a cool alternate design. Um,
And, like, the play on words was very clever.
yeah,
Like, him coming from a red sun planet and
yeah.
it being the red sun. That's smart. It's not enough meat for the whole book, though.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to eventually reread this, but I'm hesitant to. Again, this is Mark Millar, who again that edginess. He's at DC, so it could be worse,
Mhm.
it could be better.
Yeah.
He's gonna be
Uh-huh.
toned down a bit,
Yeah.
as we saw in this one. Like, there's nothing, no craziness that happened too much,
Mhm.
but I'd be interested to see how that book stacks up again after all these years. But again, you don't even have to have something amazing to say. I have it up here. It's just there's a stack of stuff on top of it. But Deceased, again, that
Uh-huh.
is a Elseworld
Yeah.
title where there's zombies and stuff, and there's gore and
Uh-huh.
violence, and like it's brutal, but it's also this kind of beautiful zombie story. At the same time, it has heart, which a lot of zombie, like really good zombie media does. And it's fun because you're watching these heroes like do all this, horrible shit, and it's emotional, and you see, oh my god, you go to the Bat Cave and Alfred had to put down the Robins and all. It's like so sad, and like there's like little things like that, like it doesn't necessarily need to say something truly amazing, but it could be a fun story that you could live in the world for a little bit. And as long as it's fun and you got a good writer, that'd be cool. This is one of those ones that needed to say something. And I think it's easier
Mhm.
to say in 2025, again, on the heels of watching Batman Azteca and how that was done.
Mhm.
I really would like to see someone like somebody of Russian descent, or someone who lived through, like, had parents that lived through that time, who lived through all the
Mhm.
the hardships that they did, come back to the story and redo it, in their eyes.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
what would this look like? It'd be really interesting. Um,
Can I propose a new segment?
yes.
We are 5 seasons into this show, and this is completely unprompted on the spot, but we did get rid of our quiz time section,
Yeah.
and so I have an idea for you,
Yes. Okay.
Carlos. Can we do a review section where we pull a review, related to the movie and laugh about it?
Oh, please. Yeah. You have one for today?
Yeah, because I was scrolling through the IMDb,
Okay.
and I did just see this review, and I need to talk about it with
Oh,
you.
please. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Alright, this is a five-star review, 5 out of 10, on IMDb from Nerd Offensive, and I'm gonna read the middle paragraph. So this is paragraph 2 of 3. And basically, he's like, "It's entertaining, but, like, blah, blah, blah. There's some differences and not enough chess being played." Um, and then I'll read you the title after I read through this
Okay.
paragraph. But Nerd Offensive says, however, Hollywood's tendency in recent years to shoehorn social justice messages into every kind of fiction has also marred my viewing experience with this movie. What do you think he's talking about? Uh, most evidently, Wonder Woman's character was totally changed and ultimately ruined to score some cheap PC points. She is not
Oh
really
my
a
god.
character in this movie, but a mouthpiece for blatant it moved on me. Blatant in your face feminist propaganda combined with shallow and superficial man bashing. Not enough men bashing, in my opinion.
My god.
The men are mostly portrayed as warmongers, some of them crude, some of them insidious, who destroy the planet, whereas the few women in this movie are basically flawless, stunning, and brave human beings who care for mankind and Mother Earth.
Yeah.
Hell yeah!
Yes. Yes.
Oh, yeah. And Wonder Woman is, of course, stronger than Superman
Yes.
and a lesbian. My eyes hurt from rolling them so many times throughout the movie.
Oh my god. That's hilarious.
The headline of that review was, and the reason I clicked on it, genuinely, was could have been a good adaptation, but they had to go woke. Dot dot dot.
That's like every episode of our show. That's the one comment. It's the same
Yeah,
guy. It's the same guy.
the same guy.
It's the same guy.
Mhm, mhm.
What is it? Mediocre white
Um,
man.
mediocre white
We're
man.
talking about John
Oh,
Constantine.
man.
That's my favorite quote. That's our favorite
He is
comment.
a mediocre white man.
Uh,
I stand by that. Anyways, this might become a future segment. This might not, but
yeah. I think if there's a really funny review like that, I think we're definitely
mhm,
gonna highlight it moving forward because that
yeah.
is hilarious. Alrighty, so that is it for our episode. But before we go, we have homework. Sly, I'll let you announce what next week's episode is.
I've been waiting years for this.
Yeah.
Um, for some context, I created the show doc or the show spreadsheet of all the media we would cover throughout the initial tenure of the show
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
a year and a half ago, almost 2 years ago. And in doing so, I discovered a lot of movies, including the one we are talking about next week, which I immediately wrote in our doc, all caps. How have I never heard of this
Uh-huh.
before? How have I not seen this before? It is The Batman, as in the 2004 The Batman television series, versus Dracula.
Yes.
I'm
That
I'm gonna
is.
be so normal about this movie. At this time of recording, I have not seen a single image from
Oh man.
that film.
I actually have seen
Tune
this
in
film
next
once,
week.
but I really don't remember. So I'm really excited to watch this. It was
Okay,
like like
let's see
in the
how I feel.
summertime when like Cartoon Network
Mhm,
was like, oh hey man, we don't have new episodes of anime or anything like on Adult
mhm,
Swim or Toonami. Let's just show like
mhm.
DC movies. This is that's how I watched it for the first time, and I was like, oh
Hell
shit, I was like,
yeah.
yo,
Mhm,
it's like you're in for a fun time. Is it on anything? No, absolutely not.
okay.
But we'll find ways, Frank.
I might
Um,
buy it. Genuinely, I
oh
might
man,
buy it.
yeah. You are in for a treat. I'm telling you right now, you are in for a treat. And
Mhm.
it's oh my god. Yeah, I'm so excited. I'm so excited to cover this film. This is another one I've been excited for after you said how
Mhm,
excited you are because I've seen what I remember of this film, I really, really enjoyed. So it's really cool to also no commercial breaks. So the last time
mhm.
I watched it was commercial
Yeah.
breaks. It was edited for TV. I don't
Mhm,
have to watch any of that.
mhm,
Not that it's like uber violent. It's not R. It's PG-13 though, which is nice. Especially in this
mhm.
universe. Like I want to see what a PG-13 is like in this universe. But yeah,
Hell yeah.
Batman versus Dracula 2000, was that 2005?
5. Yeah,
Damn,
so
I
we
just
had gotten 1 season of the show, which is my favorite season because it's the one I had the DVD of and watched a lot.
that's fair. I just got out of high school and I just
Mm,
started dating
mhm.
Tara. So that's insane to think about. But yeah,
You don't
no,
wanna know what grade I was going into.
I don't. I don't. My niece was 5. I don't want to think about how old you were. Don't.
Plus 1 to that, and I was
God
going
damn it.
into 1st grade.
God damn it. God damn it. All right. Anyway, Uh,
I
Denise,
love our friendship.
my relationship with Tara is like almost longer than your life.
I have a whole 6 years on your relationship.
That's fair. Yeah. Jesus. Okay. Anyway, before we head off, Sly, where can people find you?
You can find me on Storyograph. You can find me on youtube.com/pointing in progress, and you can find me actually, I don't know if you could find me on DC Infinite, the fucking comic book subscription. I don't know, but I'm on there and I'm reading lots of things. I will say from our recommendations
Mhm.
from the DC Families episode, I have read Superman for all seasons. It was
Good.
perfect. I cried. I
Yep.
have read Alan Scott Green Lantern. It was perfect. I cried. Um, I think it was a you recommendation like a year ago, but the 2016 Tom Taylor run of Nightwing.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
through the first 2 volumes. I'm just about to start volume 3. I read a whole lot of other things. I'm currently current with Supergirl
Yeah.
and
That's good.
some other things I don't remember off the top of my head, but I'm having a great time, so if you wanna ask me about current DC comics, I am finally getting
I'm there. I'm
after,
finally
like,
there.
a decade. It's fine.
It's so difficult to be current with so many things coming out every week. Trust me,
Mhm.
especially now this DCKO event. God forbid.
Yeah, yeah,
And the
I'm
spinoffs with that
following, like, 5 things. Oh, Matt Fraction, um,
Batman.
yeah, Jorge Jimenez, Batman. I'm current on that.
So good.
I wanna scream about it. It's so
Yeah.
good. It's perfect.
Is is all right. For me, you can find me here at youtube.com/point in progress, where we have this show, DC and Graduates. If you're watching this episode, you go to your favorite podcast service of choice, like, share, subscribe on your audio sources. If you're listening to this podcast, go over to youtube.com/point in progress. Ignore the fact that Watchmen was our background for the first 15 minutes of the episode.
That's fine.
And like, share, and subscribe. We're almost at 600 subscribers, so that's pretty cool as a recording.
Mhm.
And we had, it's almost game season. Maybe we're, at this time. Oh no, at this time we could probably say it now.
Indie Game Awards
Indie
is
Game
coming
Awards
up
is
next
coming up. We are
month.
judges. We're officially judges on there, so that is fun. You
Mhm,
get to see who we
mhm.
pick. That's an incredible thing opportunity we got because of the wonderful people at 61 Indie.
Mhm.
And yeah, there's a bunch of stuff on the horizon for us when it comes to Game of the Year and all that other stuff. We probably should have a meeting soon about it. Yeah.
We got time. It's
There's
fine.
only 3 of us, but it's fine. We'll do it. We'll figure it out. But yeah, you like us and share us all in that beautiful things. Again, try to find Batman and Dragons. That movie, I think everyone's gonna have a fun time watching. And let us know what you think about this film. If you like it, if you like the adaptation, if you're the one who
Mhm.
wrote that
If
review,
you liked it,
yeah,
you could tell us. That's
yeah,
fine. We won't judge you too harshly.
yeah. Like I said, I liked it back in the day. I'm interested. I don't think it would work well now, so I'm really interested if I have the time, if I could reread it to see how I
Mhm.
feel nowadays. But
We could do a book club.
yeah, we could do that. We could do that. Yeah, we've been talking about doing not a DC book club, but like a
Mhm,
book club for Pip. Maybe that's how we get that
mhm,
other Canadian back on content.
mhm. There you
Steal her
go.
away from carpool gaming.
Mhm.
She doesn't need to be there.
And we can get, everybody in Pip's favorite member of your household roped
Yeah, my
into
wife,
that as
my
well.
actually, yeah. Now she's done all her school stuff. Yeah, yeah. Now she
Mhm,
could be on
mhm.
content. It's not fair because she's more talented than I am. So like, it'll just show every time. Every time she's on an
Mhm.
episode of anything I do, like the numbers are out there, I'm like, I know it's not me. I know it's not me. I'm aware and I'm okay with it. Like, but
Mhm.
come on, me.
Yeah.
Like, I'm also here. You know?
You're great too, we
Yeah.
love you.
I know.
So, like,
Every- Yeah, I get it. I
yeah.
get
Mhm.
it. Alrighty. But till next time, class is dismissed.